Welcome to this explainer. Today, we are diving into something absolutely wild that's been hiding right in plain sight. We're going to unpack the fascinating, microscopic world of acacia fiber. We'll see exactly how a very ancient, very simple botanical ingredient is basically rewriting the rules of modern gastrointestinal and metabolic health. So, get this. What if a totally common food additive, stuff that's literally been used in ancient Egyptian ink and, believe it or not, your favorite modern candy, was actually a complex medical powerhouse? For decades, the food industry just looked at this stuff and saw a basic stabilizer. But clinical researchers have recently discovered that this seemingly mundane ingredient has the power to drastically alter our microbiome, regulate our metabolism, and even mimic kidney dialysis.
To figure out how on earth it does all that, here's our roadmap for today. 1. From tree sap to superfood. 2. The slow fermentation advantage. 3. Healing the gastrointestinal tract. 4. Systemic healing and kidneys. 5. Critical safety and interactions. And finally, 6. How to supplement safely. All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, From Tree Sap to Superfood.
For centuries, this golden amber sap, which you might see on an ingredient label as E414 or gum arabic, has been harvested from the African Sahel. That's a region aptly named the Gum Belt. And the coolest part, the sap is actually a protective healing mechanism for the tree itself. It secretes it when the bark gets damaged. Harvesting it safely provides crucial ecological stability, combats desertification, and supports local communities.
Now hold on, because we really need to set the record straight right out of the gate. When we talk about safe, functional dietary fiber, we are strictly talking about Acacia senegal and Acacia saol. You absolutely cannot confuse this with Acacia rigidula. Rigidula is a completely different plant that gets slipped into shady weight loss supplements because it contains BMPEA. That's an amphetamine-like chemical that causes severe cardiovascular spikes. So as we move forward today, just remember, senegal and saol are your safe prebiotics. Rigidula is a dangerous stimulant.
Moving right along to Section 2, the slow fermentation advantage.
Okay, so here's the secret sauce. Acacia isn't just your run-of-the-mill simple carb. It's an arabinogalactan protein complex, or AGP for short. It's a massive, heavily branched matrix with a molecular weight reaching up to 350,000 Daltons, meaning, structurally, it is huge. Because of this dense, highly branched topography, human enzymes in the stomach and small intestine simply cannot break it down. It's built like a fortress, so it survives totally intact until it reaches your deep, distal colon.
And that structure? It's a total game changer. Just compare it to other fibers you might already know, like inulin or psyllium husk. Because inulin has a simple, linear structure, gut bacteria just tear through it. They ferment it explosively, which causes rapid gas and really painful bloating. Psyllium, on the other hand, forms a thick gel that hardly ferments at all. It acts mainly as a mechanical broom. But Acacia's highly branched matrix forces your gut bacteria to dismantle it slowly. It creates a really nice, sustained, low-volatility fermentation. When you look at the actual data, the difference is night and day. In that critical first 4 to 8 hour window after you eat it, Acacia produces drastically lower gas volumes compared to inulin. Basically, you get all the profound benefits of a high-fiber prebiotic without all the digestive drama and extreme bloating like bloating.
Which leads us perfectly into Section 3, healing the gastrointestinal tract. Because of that unique slow-release profile we just talked about, Acacia acts like a highly targeted delivery system in your lower gut. First off, it's low FODMAP certified, making it an absolute godsend for people with irritable bowel syndrome. It specifically feeds the good guys down there, bifidobacterium and lactobacillus, which then pump out massive amounts of a short-chain fatty acid called butyrate. Why should you care about butyrate? Well, it's the primary fuel for the cells lining your colon. It physically upregulates tight junction proteins, literally closing the gaps in your intestinal wall to fix leaky gut and stop systemic inflammation right at the source.
But wait, it gets better. It's not just feeding the good bacteria, it's actively starving the bad ones out. Clinical research shows that Acacia competitively inhibits dangerous, putrefactive bacteria like the Clostridium histolyticum group. You are essentially remodeling your gut ecology from the inside out.
Let's zoom out a bit for Section 4, systemic healing and kidneys.
Systemically, when acacia ferments, it produces another fatty acid called propionate. This acts as a powerful signaling molecule that travels through your system and triggers satiety hormones like GLP-1, which, by the way, is the exact same pathway targeted by all those modern weight loss drugs. It also blunts post-meal glucose spikes. And remarkably, clinical trials show Acacia can impressively boost your protective HDL cholesterol by nearly 20%, while simultaneously bringing down total and LDL cholesterol.
Now, this next part is honestly mind-blowing. It's a process called enteric dialysis. In patients with kidney disease, toxic urea builds up in the blood. When you introduce Acacia, it causes an explosive proliferation of beneficial gut bacteria. To sustain their own rapid growth, these bacteria become incredibly hungry for nitrogen. So what do? They literally suck the toxic urea right out of the host's bloodstream, incorporate it into their own cellular mass, and excrete it harmlessly in the feces. It takes a massive burden off failing kidneys.
It even acts as a biological weapon. We all know about the terrifying rise of antibiotic-resistant superbugs, right? Well, research shows that a high Acacia diet creates such intense nutritional competition in the gut that it forces your native-friendly E. coli to biosynthesize colicin M. That's a biological assassin peptide. This peptide selectively targets and destroys drug-resistant invaders like ESBL E. coli. It's literally weaponizing your own microbiome.
But of course, a powerful tool requires careful handling. Let's look at Section 5, Critical Safety and Interactions.
We have to be totally straight with you here. Acacia's dense, highly branched matrix can be a double-edged sword. If you take it at the exact same time as certain oral medications, the fiber matrix can physically trap the active drug ingredients. For instance, it can completely envelop the antibiotic amoxicillin, blocking it from entering your bloodstream and causing catastrophic treatment failure. It also binds tightly to levothyroxine, a critical thyroid hormone that requires a very precise absorption window.
So, here is the absolute golden rule. You've got to wait a minimum of 4 hours between taking critical medications and consuming Acacia fiber. You have to give your life-saving drugs time to absorb before you send this massive fiber matrix through your digestive tract.
And if you're diabetic, listen up. There is a specific interaction with metformin that we call the metformin paradox. While Acacia usually lowers blood sugar, combining massive doses of it simultaneously with metformin has been shown in some trials to unpredictably increase HbA1c levels. It creates a highly volatile pharmacokinetic environment, meaning the way your body processes the drug just goes out the window. So if you are on this drug, strict medical monitoring is an absolute must.
All right, bringing it all together in our final section, Section 6, How to Supplement Safely.
If you're thinking about trying this out, you have to start slow so you don't overwhelm your biome as it adapts. We're talking a small 5-gram dose, about 1 scoop a day. You can eventually titrate gradually up to 15 to 30 grams daily, depending on whether you're targeting simple bowel regularity or more aggressive metabolic repair. The great news is it makes this perfectly clear in water without turning into a dangerous thick gel. Most importantly, ensure you only purchase products boasting NSF, USP, or Informed Choice certifications. The supplement market is wildly unregulated, and third-party testing guarantees you aren't consuming heavy metals, chemical adulterants, or cheap proprietary blends.
It's truly a wild ride, right? We've taken a journey from the dry soils of the African Sahel directly into the microscopic battlegrounds of our own intestines, leaving us with this final thought. If a common food additive, once just used to bind ink and stabilize candy, can do all this, if it can weaponize our microbiome and mimic dialysis, what else are we eating without understanding its true power? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Stay curious, keep learning, and I'll catch you next time.